If you are over 60, or if you have a parent over 60, the next 10 minutes could literally save a life. I'm not saying that to get views. I'm saying that because the data proves it. Every single year, over 800,000 people in the United States alone suffer a heart attack. And here's the part that keeps me up at night. Most of them had warning signs up to 72 hours before it happened. 72 hours. 3 full days. And they ignored them. Today, I'm going to break down the 3 signs that almost everyone over 60 misses. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to watch for, not just in yourself, but in the people you love. Stay with me. This one matters. As a certified health advisor who has spent over a decade working with seniors and their families on preventive health, I've seen firsthand what happens when these signs are caught early, lives saved, families kept whole, and I've seen the devastation when they're not. I want to be clear about something right now. This video is not a replacement for professional medical advice. If you are experiencing any health concerns, please talk to your doctor. But this video is meant to arm you with the awareness you need to know when that conversation needs to happen urgently. Knowledge is the most powerful tool you have when it comes to protecting your health and the health of someone you love. So let's get into it. Sign number 1. The jaw and neck pain that comes out of nowhere. Now, when most people think about a heart attack, they picture someone grabbing their chest and falling to the ground. That's Hollywood. That is not real life, especially for people over 60. Here's what actually happens. The heart sends pain signals through nerves, and in many cases, especially in older adults, those signals don't travel to the chest. They travel to the jaw, the neck, sometimes even the back or the upper arm. So you wake up one morning and your jaw feels sore. You think, maybe I slept funny, maybe I need to stretch, and you move on with your day. But here's the thing, if that jaw pain has no clear physical cause, if it came on suddenly with no history of dental or muscle issues, that is your body sending you a signal. The 72-hour window is critical here. Patients who reported jaw and neck discomfort in the days before a cardiac event consistently showed it as an early warning sign. I spoke to a woman last year whose father complained of jaw soreness for 2 days straight. She almost dismissed it, but something told her to take him to the ER. Within an hour, doctors confirmed he was having a silent heart attack. 2 days. That's how long the warning was sitting right in front of them. So, what do? If you or someone you know experiences sudden jaw or neck pain with no obvious reason, do not brush it off. Write it down. Note the time. Note how long it lasted. That information could be the difference between life and death when you speak to a doctor. And I want to pause here for a second, because a lot of people watching this right now are thinking, okay, but how do I know if it's just a bad night's sleep or something more serious? The answer is consistency. If the pain comes back, if it keeps showing up over the course of a day or two with no explanation, that's your red flag. That is not something to wait on. Sign number 2. Unusual fatigue that sleep cannot fix. This one is sneaky, and it catches people completely off guard. We live in a world where we normalize tiredness, especially as we get older. We say, oh, I'm just getting older. Of course I'm tired. But there is a massive difference between normal, everyday tiredness and the kind of deep, bone-heavy fatigue that a heart attack sends as a warning. Here's how to tell the difference. Normal tiredness goes away after a good night's sleep. You rest, you recover, you feel better. But this kind of fatigue? You sleep 8 hours and you still feel like you've been hit by a truck. It doesn't go away. It lingers. It gets worse. Studies show that unexplained extreme fatigue in the days leading up to a heart attack is one of the most commonly reported symptoms and one of the most ignored. Now here's where it gets important for families. If your parent suddenly starts saying, I just can't seem to get my energy back, don't just hand them a cup of coffee and move on. Ask questions. How long has this been going on? Is it different from your normal tiredness? Has anything else changed? Think about it this way. If someone told you they hadn't felt right in 3 days, you wouldn't ignore that if it were a fever. Fatigue deserves the same attention, especially at this age. And here's another thing I want you to understand. Sometimes fatigue like this comes with a slight shortness of breath, Not the kind where you're gasping for air. The kind where you just notice, I'm a little more winded than usual climbing these stairs. That combination, fatigue plus mild breathlessness, is one of the most telling combinations doctors look for in the days before a cardiac event. Pay attention to that. You are not being dramatic. You are being a good son, daughter, or caregiver, and you might just be saving their life. Sign number 3, a sudden, unexplained feeling of anxiety or dread. I know. That one sounds strange, but hear me out. Your heart is a muscle, and when blood flow to that muscle starts to decrease even slightly, your brain begins to respond. It doesn't always send chest pain. Sometimes it sends a wave of anxiety, a feeling that something is deeply, fundamentally wrong, a sense of dread that you cannot explain. Patients describe it like this: I just felt like something bad was about to happen. I didn't know what. I just knew something was off. For people over 60, this can be incredibly confusing. They may have never experienced anxiety before in their life, and suddenly, out of nowhere, they feel this overwhelming sense of unease. They might dismiss it as stress, or aging, or overthinking. But if this feeling is new, if it has no logical trigger, and if it appears alongside even one of the other 2 signs I mentioned, that is your body screaming for attention, this is especially true for women over 60, who are statistically more likely to experience atypical heart attack symptoms like anxiety, nausea, and fatigue, rather than classic chest pain. And here's something that makes this even more important. A lot of older adults, especially men, have been taught their entire lives to push through discomfort, to tough it out, to not make a fuss. But when it comes to your heart, that mentality can kill you. There is no toughing out a heart attack. There is only acting fast or not acting at all. Now, I want to talk about something that ties all 3 of these signs together. And this is important. These signs don't always come loud. They don't always come obvious. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they show up as something so small, so ordinary, that you walk right past them. That is exactly what makes them dangerous. The heart is not always going to grab you by the collar and shake you. Sometimes it nudges, and your job is to pay attention to that nudge. So here's your action plan. Write these 3 things down. Sudden jaw or neck pain with no clear cause. Extreme fatigue that sleep does not fix. A new, unexplained feeling of anxiety or dread. If you or someone you love experiences even one of these signs, especially if it lasts more than a few hours or keeps coming back within that 72-hour window, call your doctor immediately. Do not wait. Do not Google it at 2 a.m. and convince yourself it's nothing. Call. If you experience 2 or more of these signs at the same time, do not drive yourself. Call 911. That is not an exaggeration. That is medical protocol. Time is muscle. Every minute that passes during a heart attack, heart tissue is dying. The faster you act, the more of your heart you save. And a healthy heart means more years, more birthdays, more time with the people who need you most. Now, before I close, I want to leave you with one more thought. Prevention doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be scary. It starts with awareness. It starts with a conversation at the dinner table. It starts with someone in this family paying just a little more attention. That's all it takes. Not a degree, not a medical background, just awareness. And now you have it. If this video helped you, if it made you think about your health or the health of someone you love even a little bit differently, share it. Send it to your mom. Send it to your dad. Send it to that one uncle nobody checks on. It takes 5 seconds and it could change everything. I mean that. Because the truth is, most people don't talk about heart health until it's too late, until someone is already in the hospital, until the damage is already done. But you now have the information to change that narrative for your family, for yourself. And if you want more videos like this practical, honest, life-saving health information, hit subscribe. I drop content like this every single week. And turn on that notification bell, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Stay safe, stay informed, and take care of the people who matter most.